Hey, what's up? Tim Sykes here. Daily recap, weird version, I guess, would be the name of this today, or at least morning recap. The Dow is down nearly 5% already on the day, and you can see intraday has just been downtrending. We are way up off our lows the past few weeks, and frankly, we've been due for a big down day. It's really kind of a scary world out there still with a lot of the things happening out in the world. And this is not like an economy like, hey, let me invest in businesses. That's my take, at least. So I'm looking forward to some more dropping. I was actually looking forward to kind of like taking the day off. But here we are. I tweet a lot, and I tweeted how I'm up 22,000 on the day, 129,000 in June now, which is more than I made in 2019. And 340,000 year to date, which is awesome. And remember, I donate 100% of the money I make from trading to charity because I want you to understand that I trade in order to teach. Okay. If I wasn't teaching, I would take probably position sizes of 10, maybe even 50 times as much, not worry about video lessons, watch lists, commentary, DVDs, webinars, anything, make much more money and be soulless and live a lonely life like many traders do. It's my honor to teach. It's my honor to donate these profits to charity to change the world. Nearly $5 million now donated in just the past few years. But I like showing you what is possible. And it's not just about the money, it's the process, okay? Year to date, this is month to date. Month to date, I'm up 129,000. But year to date, look at this, 340,000. And, it's small profits added up. And I should mention here with this, 129,000 now in June in just the first 11 days. This is more than I made all of last year in trading, okay? I'm pushing it a little bit more now. I'm being a little more aggressive because the market is hot. And if you understand that, leave a comment underneath this video saying, this market is hot. 4 words, because that should really change the way that you trade. And I should mention also, tomorrow, is the Market Mastery all-day live webinar. I'll post the link just below this video. Sign up, get in there. It's a one-time fee. You actually get 12 of them. I do one per month. So tomorrow, June 12th, will be an all-day live webinar so you can see, exactly what I'm doing. Like a lot of people are like, how do you make this? Well, you'll see my screen. I'll explain it. I don't know if there's going to be many good plays or any good plays. Literally, it's kind of funny. Like on this page, we said like I've been making $10,000 to $15,000 damn near every day. That's actually true. Like, I guess today is a little bit more with 22K, but yesterday was like 17K. The day before that was like 15K. The day before that was like 14K. So it's pretty crazy just with what's happening. And it's not because I'm doing so much better and doing amazing things. I do have a few new tools compared to last year. And I posted this. This is a screenshot of the Stocks to Trade breaking news tool, which you need. Okay, I clap because I need you to understand that this is such a lifesaver. Okay, I was not making that much this morning. I tried, what was it, HYSR, which is now fading. But I was trading the morning spike. It was choppy. I missed it a little bit, but I made a little bit of money on that. And then BLMK, I went from the morning spike. This hit 3 pre-market because they had some solid news. They're in the electric vehicle space, which has been hot, but you can see it's still green on the day, which is actually an achievement given that the Dow is now down 5% on the day. And the S&P and the NASDAQ are down 4%. So it's a nasty day for stocks. So after BLMK's choppiness, I made a small gain. HYSR, I made a small gain. But nothing huge. The thing that really propelled me today was SSFT, this big run up. And as I tweeted here, this is just a screenshot from the breaking news, but this is all time stamped. And right here, this is California time because I'm quarantined in LA right now, but SSFT, okay, Google partnership. This was at 7:15 a.m. Pacific time, which is 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. And this is when they announced their deal with Google, the breaking news tool. Understand, this is not just like a normal news tool. They really delve into specifically what matters, okay? Like they weed out a lot of irrelevant news. It's run by 2 ex-hedge fund traders with low-price stocks. Like I know them. I've known them for years. They're very good guys, and they have this breaking news So when they say like Google partnership 8K, I mean, this is not, it looks like just little words. I think probably in the future, maybe they should have like different color coding. Maybe I'll suggest that, where like bigger news becomes like in red or something. Well, I guess red would get, I don't know. I haven't figured this out. Maybe purple or something. Red would be confusing because green and red is like up or down on the day. But maybe in purple, Google partnership. I saw this. I clicked the link. The link goes to this. This is an 8K. And they basically said this. They said, look at this one sentence. Understand, this is not a press release. This is just 8K. This is an SEC filing. They said, recently entered into an agreement with Google. Sonasoft will be involved in the development of services and products for Google Cloud Learning Systems. We don't know the specifics, but when a freaking 20-cent stock, or at the time it was a 17-cent stock, does a deal with Google, that's big news, okay? And like I said, tomorrow, all day live webinar, I'm getting a lot of questions. Ask me questions then, okay? This is why I'm doing all day. I'm not necessarily going to be trading all day. Hopefully, there won't be too many trades so that I can do some trading and some Q&A. And even if there are too many trades, you know, it's supposed to be 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Eastern, but maybe we'll go an extra hour till 5 p.m. depending on how exhausted I am and if I've gotten a chance to answer the questions. But, you know, a lot of questions like, how did I know this was huge? This is not a normal thing, okay? Google does not just partner with 17-cent stocks. So this is SSFT. I mean, it's now a 23-cent stock. But, you know, the news came out right here, okay? The stock had already spiked a little bit, okay? It was already spiking, you know, like literally right around here when the actual 8K came out. At 10:12, but within 3 minutes, the breaking news tool got it. And this is where, you know, frankly, I was loading up. I would have bought 1 million shares. You know, this is probably the best news that this company will ever have. And again, we don't know all the details yet, but you look at the stock, it doesn't really have a good chart. I said this even in my alert. I said, you know, big news, but weird pricing, weird trading, weird price action. Type stock. So it had some good and bad. And again, if the markets weren't down 4 or 5% today, this would probably be, you know, 30 cents, maybe 50 cents, maybe even $1. Like that's how crazy the runners have been lately. So 115% is near like worst case scenario. That's due to the market being down. And really, I think a lot of the morning spikers just failing. But I still banked. And anybody who has the breaking news tool, I'll post a link to that. Bang too, because this thing, you know, you had 20 minutes before it basically doubled from 15 cents to 31 cents. And I locked in, you know, just some profits on this news. But it's crazy to me that more people don't recognize what good news is. You know, like obviously in the breaking news chat room, there's a lot of different news. But when you have a small company, right, with a Google partnership, like you have to recognize that. Props to a lot of students. I'm just going to highlight one. Connor got in at 23 cents. He actually didn't chase the initial spike. You actually could have made money on the dip. And he waited on the dip, and 23 out at 26, $100 profits. And some people might say, why are you highlighting somebody who makes $100? Because this is the process, okay? Connor might be starting right now with 4,000 shares, but he could buy 40,000 shares, and then it would be $1,000 profit. And he didn't sell it, you know, perfectly at 26. I think it went up to like 29. So it bounced a little more. So, you know, this little $100 profit later on in his career with a bigger position could have been a $2,000 profit. And as I always say, 2K a day keeps the real job away. So do not rip on people who have small gains. You'll see me highlight them because I am very proud of them. That's how this starts. Tim Grittani, who now everyone respects, who's now at 12 million in profits. If you look at his early trades, he was making and losing $5, $10, $20 too. He trusted the process. He learned. He scaled up later on when he had experience. So keep tweeting me. Do not mind people who rip on small stuff like this. Actually be grateful because so many Wall Streeters and snobs look down on this stuff. Like a lot of people say, like, Tim, like, this is crazy, you know, 130,000 in like 11 days. Wall Street still would look down on this. They'd be like, so, you know, a lot of the biggest traders are making 129,000 in a day, in an hour, in a minute, they're trading with much bigger dollar amounts. And this is what you have to understand as a trader. This is why there's always going to be opportunity with penny stocks. Some people say, like, Tim, when more people use the breaking news, when more people see this, I've been teaching for 12 fucking years, okay? I've been screaming at the top of my lungs. I have so many trades, so many students, so many videos. It's all pretty much the same patterns. And yet, what? I have a few hundred dedicated students because it's a lot of studying at first. You got to get used to the patterns. Not every market is as hot as it is right now. This is the hottest that we've seen in years. It's not always fun. And frankly, it's frustrating. You know, what if you were watching and you missed SSFT and then you have to listen to me brag about it all the time, right? Like, that's frustrating. And I want you to be frustrated because that's part of the journey too, okay? This isn't a whole fun process with rainbows and sprinkles and unicorns. You get to have fun after you get rich. But I will do what I must in order to get you to learn, because sometimes you're going to miss a trade. Sometimes you're going to sell too soon. Sometimes you're going to have a small position. But the key is learning. And I have taught some truly dumb, degenerate, drunken, gambler type students over the years. And none of them have taken more than 2-3 years max to truly get it. I think, some of my dumbest students, maybe they take 4 years of dedicated study. But, Tim Grittani, remember, $12 million in profits now, but he's been doing this nearly a decade, and he made nothing his first 9 months. So I need to get you having the right mindset that learning and trading and earning money that's lasting wealth for you, your family, so that you can donate millions to charity, that takes time, okay? Too many people think like, oh, how do I make $1 million overnight? You see Robinhood is like surging right now. You have so many people who are just complete idiots and they're investing in stocks like Hertz, which by all means had a great short squeeze, but it's not a good company. But it went from 84 cents to 680, now back down to 2. GNUS, same kind of thing. I can't tell you how many people think this is a good company. Oh, they're launching their network on June 15th. It's nearly irrelevant, okay? The reason why it's up is due to blatant pumping. And I would be very, very curious to see the pumpers' relationship with this company, because every time they pumped, there turned out to be an offering. And the pumpers claim to be innocent, but in the past, we've seen companies work with pumpers on emails, and now it looks like Twitter seems to be the #1 place to pump. Use the stocks to trade social media search tool, okay? GNUS has been pumped. MARK has been pumped. You don't see it in the past 10 days or even in the past 14 days. But let me show you the past 20 days. Well, actually even more than that. Damn. Past 30 days. There we go. I was buying this stock. Mind you, I'm not against the promoters. I don't want them to shut down. I was buying MARK. I was buying it here, right around 40 cents a share. I underestimated it by a mile. So I'm grateful to the pumpers. But at the same time, you have to recognize why these stocks are up, because I refuse to allow idiots who these pumpers are, to lie about these companies and say, oh, this company has great potential, and then newbies follow the idiots and they go down with the ship, okay? I respect the mark pumping. I respect this 10 times price run up. But look at the volume fading. Look at the price fading. This will most likely be under $1 a share in the next few weeks or months. I don't know how long it takes. If Mark was smart, they would issue some press releases, but they seem to like to tweet instead. This company tweets about potential contracts too. They don't issue press releases. You never really find out the details, which in itself is very questionable. But this will be under $1. GNUS, most likely their Cartoon Network will bomb, and this will be back under $1. Almost all of these companies, you just have to anticipate that they're going to fail. No matter what they do, they're going to screw it up on so many levels. But right now, enjoy the rides. Pump it up as much as possible. But I'm never going to stop warning. People think like just because I'm warning about them, like I'm short selling them. No, I'm not. I was actually dip buying GNUS the other day. It was fantastic. I made a good, little profit. But I wouldn't believe this company. I wouldn't trust it. And as some longs are learning, it's very difficult to hold this stock overnight. It gapped down 30%. So if you like 30% losses, be my guest. Ignore my rules. Same thing with FCEL. People were asking me yesterday, why didn't I buy this and hold the breakout? this company has let me down so many times in the past, this whole sector, and you just can't trust technical breakouts. And look at this. This is a perfect technical breakout and a perfect failure. And this is why a lot of people say, like, oh, Tim, you just teach basic technical analysis. Oh, I can get this in a free chat room. Be my guest, okay? Learn the hard way that this might not be rocket science, but this is not as simple of a game as you want it to be. And you can read my timestamp commentary on FCEL yesterday before it dropped 25%, saying I would not be long. I would not chase this. After hours, when it dropped to 3, I said, do not be long. Do not chase this. Now it's down to 250. So you're welcome to ignore my rules. You're welcome to ignore my patterns. All I can do is try to teach you. And I can be wrong, but a lot of the time I find that I'm right. And I just want to teach you, good patterns versus bad patterns, good setups versus bad setups. And frankly, that's how, you get to making money like this all in like 2 weeks. I mean, this is literally more than like a doctor or a lawyer makes over the course of a year. And it's because of preparation, okay? It's opportunity meeting preparation and having the right tools like this breaking news tool. So again, I'm going to link this breaking news tool right under this. Please, for the love of God, use this tool, okay? It's brand new. I'm sure they'll make improvements. Like, I'm literally just thinking out loud. I'm going to suggest to put big news in like purple or some other color, right? Like, I don't know, yellow. I don't know. I'm sure there's some color coding that we can figure out because this news, this is me recognizing the news, and I loaded up on shares, and I thought that I was actually selling too soon. I thought this thing had a chance to go to 30 or 40 or, it went to 32-ish, but I thought it could go to 40 or 50. And I was like, well, I just have to lock in profits. I like taking singles, and this was more than a single. This was more like a triple. But I like selling, just safely, especially because the overall market. What you have to understand, when the Dow is up so much off the lows, like, it just gets riskier and riskier. It's crazy that we had such problems in the world, and now we're basically like back near the highs, which, fantastic. I wouldn't bet against America, but you do have to just recognize the risks. You have to recognize the risks if you, buy a pump like GNUS. You have to recognize the risks if you buy, a short squeeze like HTZ. You have to recognize the risks of buying a stock like FCEL, which fails too often. If you're in this game, long enough, you'll see it fail again and again and again, year in, year out. It's pretty consistent. And then you have to take advantage of opportunities like SSFT when they announced a freakish deal with Google. You have to learn to recognize the difference. And look at the volume, look at the spike. This is still day one, mind you, okay? Now it's basically between 22 and 24. I'm filming this midday, so I don't know what this is going to do. Also with the overall market. And this thing also has a float of 72 million. I mentioned this in chat. This is not like a low float stock where it has like 3 or 5 or 7 million shares. So even though it's traded a lot, it has a big float, which prevents it from, going up 200, 300, 5%. So in a day. So it has a few things going for it, namely the Google partnership in the first green day, and a few bad things, a huge float, an ugly market, and it's also midday. So I'm watching, I'm waiting. I don't know if I'm going to have a position. I might have a position overnight. We'll see. I don't need to trade. That's the key here, okay? I want you to think about how to stay away from trading and then come out of retirement only when there's a great play. And if you have that kind of backwards, counterintuitive mindset, it will really help you have more patience, and you'll be able to focus on the best plays. I can't tell you how many people saw the news, they saw my position, and they said, nah, it's not that great. And I'm like, I literally was like looking at the comments in chat, and I was like, how in the world do you not see that this is big news? Like, forget about just companies often say that they're working with Google or like big companies, but they don't put them in SEC filings, okay? They usually say like, oh, we're working with FedEx. And they really, the small piece of crap company really just designates FedEx as like their shipper, like meaning somebody in the company is going to the FedEx store and using them. Like, that's the joke that the majority of the press releases and, quote, partnerships are with small companies. But this is in an SEC filing, which is legal. You can't lie about it, okay? There still hasn't been even a press release. We don't know all the details, but when you have this kind of catalyst, you have to respect it and you have to respond to it. So I had a nice day. I'm going to actually go work out for a little bit. Again, I'll post 2 links under this video, breaking news chat and for Market Mastery tomorrow. I'll see you all in the Market Mastery room tomorrow. It's going to be an insane day, and I'm looking forward to it. Whether we get a lot of good trades or a lot of questions, either way, you're going to learn. And also leave a comment underneath saying, I love this hot market, because that's what it's all about now. Cheers.